What's good, y'all? It's me, Chris, back here with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing the season premiere episode of Insecure Season 4. But before we get into that, I just want to say that you all are looking at a new backdrop for today's video. I am filming this earlier than usually, and the sun was kicking my ass. So this will have to do for now. I did have to make my bed for this setup, so I hope y'all appreciate that in today's video. But let's get on to this discussion. I really love Insecure, the television show. I've been a fan of it since day one. Prior to it coming out, I wasn't too aware of Issa Rae as a YouTube star, but I just have loved the trajectory of her career, and I'm really glad to see that this show is back. This is going to be more of a recap than a review. Like, overall, I think this is a good show, and I don't want to dissect the actual storytelling or the creative aspects, because I think that this show does a really good job overall. Like, of course, I'm going to have a few critiques here and there about the actual storytelling and some creative choices, but overall, this is just more going to be about a dialogue about the relationships that Issa Rae and her team has depicted in the TV show Insecure. So it's great that this TV show is back. We had a 2-year hiatus, and Issa was off away making movies, making that coin, raising her star, raising her quota, raising her price. I have no problems with that. Insecure has built a really good fan base and a really good audience. So she's using that cachet and trying to, venture out and do more projects and take on different acting roles, and I'm loving that for her. The one thing I've always loved with this television show is the music is so freaking good. It's so fitting and tailored to each individual scene. Like, I honestly don't think that there's a TV show on air right now that is having music accompany its storytelling as well as Insecure does. Did y'all know that a white man curates the songs for the show? A white man named Keir Lerman curates the music for this television show. Very interesting. He's worked on other projects as well. Underground, the television show. Also, Dear White People. A lot of people think that Raphael Saadiq curates the music, but no, Raphael Saadiq does the original music. Anything like without lyrics or maybe any association that you haven't heard to a song play on the internet or the radio, that is what Raphael Saadiq contributes to. But I just found it interesting that a white man curates all this really good, in tune black music full of known artists and up and coming artists. I just think it's interesting. He does a really good job. We have an interesting start to this season. We have Issa Rae laying on the couch in her apartment. She's on the phone talking to someone. She's watching the television show. The television that's inside the television show, I believe it's called Looking for LaToya. It's featuring Terry J. Vaughn when she was in the Steve Harvey Show, starring as Alize Jenkins, iconic character, very much a part of my childhood. We also then have Ray J and also Portia from Housewives of Atlanta. And I'll tell you, these cameos are sending me, like, they're definitely like a little nugget extra added to each episode. I enjoy them very much. But we see Issa on the phone and she's telling someone like, yeah, I don't really fuck with Molly anymore. And then boom, the episode starts. Like, what? Like, what? This is not uncommon in storytelling in TV shows and movies, but it's a nice little different turn for Insecure to be able to kind of set what the season is going to be about. Right? We automatically get like that dramatic in at the beginning, and then we can work our way backwards. I love that type of storytelling very much. Every single season, it starts off with Molly and Issa talking about how they're starting fresh and how there's new beginnings and we're going to start all over. It's cute. It's typical, and we expect this at this point, but it's it's very relatable kind of conversations that you have with your really, really close-knit friends of just, kind of recapping, just coming together and re-examining your life every few months. And I do this weekly with my friends, so this is a cute, relatable scene that we got to see at the beginning of the episode. I love the introduction of Candela. She's such a cute character. I don't know much about her yet, but I love the actress that portrays her. I find it to be very likable. It's nice to add a bit more woman energy into the circle of the 4 friends. Like, it just breaks up the dynamic, shows different perspectives of womanhood. I like her. I don't have any complaints about her so far. Asian Bay is back, and he cut his hair. He cut his hair. There was so much magic in his hair. And in the bowling scene when he's with Molly, it is not styled done very well. Thankfully, later on the episode when they're at the block party event, it's styled correctly. But Agent Bay is losing a little bit of his charm. He's still hella cute. We'll watch. We engage with this relationship. We love this dynamic that's going on. But he don't have no hair right now. It's okay though. It's okay. It's cool. I'm very happy seeing him back and seeing what this relationship is going to come to. We got a great fucking scene of Issa and a fat nigga laying it down, y'all. We got a fat nigga. We got a full-size nigga. We got a fine-ass full-size nigga. When I tell you I was standing so fucking hard when I was watching this scene, like, whoa, we getting a fat nigga laying this down. And none of it, the whole entire episode, was stereotypical. None of it was fat phobic. He was a fully realized character who was supportive of Issa. Oh my gosh, I stand so much. You know, they do a really good job of casting all the black men on Insecure. All the black men are so fine. It's finally nice to see them casting men outside of the typical desirable black man. Like, oh, thank you, Issa and the team. I felt so seen seeing this. I felt so seen seeing this man be sexually desired and not as a trope and as support. There was not a single fat joke, none whatsoever. I saw on Twitter, because I was live tweeting the episode last night, a few people were like, but TSA Bay, like, Issa Rae has such a good career. I'm like, who the fuck cares? It's a fuck buddy. Like, I don't care where my fuck buddies work at. I actually don't even really care about as much what partners in dating as well. Like, as long as somebody is ambitious and they have goals and they're on a trajectory, I really don't care what your job is for the most part. Even more so if we're just fuck buddies. So, like, fuck along. He's very supportive. Came to the block party and was hyping everybody up. Like, just such a joy person. I loved it. I loved it very, very much. Way to get in that fat body representation. We love to see it. I love the communication that they had during the sex. Issa Rae was like, yeah, doggy's not hitting it. From the side's not hitting it. That missionary took me to church. I think that's great. I also saw people on Twitter last night being like, oh, he wasn't hitting it. She had to tell him, do you not communicate during sex? Do you not tell the person you're having sex with, like, what you could do to please me better? Y'all don't talk during sex? Like, that's weird to me. I thought that was a perfect, normal exchange in which Issa Rae had. Like, you're not hitting it. Switch positions. Perfect. We're fine. I loved it. I love that scene. I didn't find one flaw with it. I thought he was so cute, so adorable. Just, where is his at? I think I found his at on Twitter last night too, because I was just like, I need to find this fine ass fat black man who is dark skinned and support him. We must come together as a collective and support this fine ass black man. I stand. We get to a scene. Issa and Molly are shopping for clothes for her new spring wardrobe and for the event. Issa Rae, of course, is flipping out her wardrobe and just exchanging the clothes. That makes sense. Don't Issa Rae always talk about how broke she is? Like, I don't know why y'all surprised. I don't know why y'all gag. Like, I know a lot of y'all do that in real life. Some people be out here boosting. I didn't find no shame in what Issa was doing. She's still a woman on a path, and the shit is expensive out here. And if the store is going to allow an exchange policy, why wouldn't I take advantage of it? But I really love in this conversation, Molly and Issa is talking about the event and inviting Agent Bay, and she brings up Nathan, and she, asks, like, is it okay if Nathan can come? And Issa's like, nah, but thank you for asking. I thought that was a nice wink towards the last episode of season 3 where Molly pretty much just chin checked Nathan and said, nah, you're not going to ruin Issa's birthday today. This is about her. I think that Molly is learning, I hope, in this sense of just like, let Issa have the choice, giving Issa autonomy to be able to make those decisions because it's people who are affecting her life, right? So I really love that little nod at the end of the at the boutique in which Issa and Molly were having this conversation about, boundaries and inviting certain people to certain parties, and let's not get it messy. Let's keep this copacetic, please. Every single party on Insecure always has like a blow up. Every single party in Insecure that has a blow up. So let's prevent that. Candela and Issa are continuously planning for this block party. They're in an office and they're just having an exchange of how it would be to interact with people who are attending, financial advisors, who not financial advisors, but financials, people who have money to talk to. Tiffany comes into the scene, and in this scene, that's where we find out that Issa didn't know that Candela is dating Lawrence. And of course, who knows but anyone else? Tiffany. Tiffany always fucking knows and always keeps her mouth shut and never addresses things as needed. Tiffany is not a good friend. I know there's a lot of chatter talking about how good of a friend Molly is. Tiffany, objectively, is not a good friend. She is not a good friend. I don't believe any type of sincerity and genuineness coming from Tiffany. Shame on her. And also it's very interesting now seeing Amanda Seales in this role, seeing how much her star has risen a bit, and seeing like you could see Amanda Seales now in this character. Because prior to, I wouldn't even say the first 2 seasons, we were able just to see Tiffany as a character. It was always like that actress playing Tiffany. Now it's like, oh, this is Amanda Seales playing Tiffany, and I think that that's very interesting, being able to see those parallels of how we perceive her in real life and what she uses those perceptions into adding into this character as Tiffany is very interesting. I would say at this point she's probably a bit more famous than Yvonne Orji, the co-lead in Insecure. So we'll see. I'm interested to see what her camera time is going to be in this season. Like, she has a fan base. She has a huge fan base. People love her on social media. People love her on the real. I think sometimes she says some polarizing things, but I think overall she has good intentions, and I think she has a solid fan base. She was featured all throughout this entire episode. I know she's a series regular anyway, but like, you really saw a lot of Tiffany. We generally, in seasons before, seen a lot more Kelly. So keep an eye out for Tiffany in this season. Hopefully she gets into some mess. I think that while this situation is weird of Candela, Lawrence, and Issa, I think it's very mature of them to continue. There was no secrets. There was nothing, no type of drama. There was no type of messiness. Like, no one withheld anything. I don't see why it being just a coincidence that we're working together and you're dating my ex, why we couldn't at least try to see how this is going to be, right? Like, not just completely closing it off if nothing has erupted from this dynamic yet. Like, I think it's very mature of everyone in this situation. We're going to get to Molly later on, but she's judgmental and literally a hater and lacks the capability of growing in every single manner, like, Lord Jesus. But I'm down for the 3 of them coexisting in spaces, and I'm very excited to see what their dynamic is going to be like. So we're finally at this block party, and we get to see Amal, Issa's brother. He's DJing and assisting Issa as needed. And what I really hope for the character Amal is that he gets some nice moments in the season outside of the tropes. In season 2 and season 3, he really was there just to be like the sidekick, just there to be like the punchline. He was very stereotypical and very much undeveloped. I thought for a second in season 3 when they had a scene and they introduced his boyfriend that we were going to get to see a little bit more of his story fleshed out. But unfortunately, he just stayed the very stereotypical, sassy, very underdeveloped character that he's been through these last 2 seasons. So I hope they do a better job with fully realizing, fully developing a Black queer character and giving him some type of depth. It's totally fine if he's stereotypical, because stereotypical people do exist in our life, but I think it doesn't do them any justice to not have them be fully realized, fully developed characters. Like, see their humanity, see them outside of their sass and their one-liners. So I really am hopeful for that. Listen, they did a better job of portraying fatness than they have with queerness thus far on Insecure. So I do think that they are capable of it. I just got my fingers crossed. They already had it toned down in this episode. Like, I was definitely way less sass, and I appreciated it. I think that the actor who plays Amal is lovely. I'm still not sure what his sexuality is in real life. He's never explicitly come out. I follow him on Instagram, and I don't know, so I don't want to have outrage yet. Or I don't want to say outrage because it's a fair critique if he's straight, but I don't want to have the critique yet because I don't know what his sexuality is. Do I think that that's also kind of unfair a little bit, kind of queer baiting slightly? But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm looking hopeful to see what they bring for Amal this season. We get to the part of the block party, and there's this tension between Candela and Issa now that all the information is out on the table, and we get this lovely cameo of Paula J. Walker. She's playing like a fun hedger. Is that what it's called? Somebody with money. She's playing somebody who has money, who's looking to be invested in Issa's projects. And I love Paula J. Parker. She voiced the mother on The Proud Family. She was in Friday. She was in Hustle and Flow. She's done numerous cameos, so it's lovely to see her still working, and lovely to see her to do different type of roles. She's always played like the hood ratchet girlfriend, and I think she does that so well, but she has a lovely range. Like, I loved her as this role. It was great. It was nice to see that Issa and Candela were able to get this event up and running and get people really invested in it. Molly came into this event so fucking annoying. She's so annoying, like constantly sabotaging herself. Like that conversation that she had in the car with Andrew, to me didn't make any sense. Like, are you really upset? One, you asked the question, which is fair. It's totally fair to ask the person that you're dating, like, are you dating other people, right? But for you then to get upset that he actually is, that he answered it truthfully and he actually is, like, isn't that the whole part of dating? Like, having these conversations, discussing boundaries, discussing like what type of dynamic that we want in our relationship, me expressing and letting you know like how I feel, how I would like to pursue you. Like, you have to communicate those things. I don't understand why Molly was so upset about it and why she just decided to be dismissive of Andrew and not talk to this man. You're a grown ass woman that works for a law firm. Like, you know about communication. Clearly not enough in her dating life. Molly has never been a good dater, and she's not shown any growth whatsoever. This reminds me of the Judenis situation in, was that season 1 or season? I think it was season 1 where she was like, "You're not my boyfriend." And he was like, "No." Like, Molly stay not being able to communicate, and I don't know why. I don't know why. She sabotages herself constantly. It seems like she's almost not even interested in being in a relationship because she doesn't take the necessary steps that it needs to be partnered with someone. It's weird. And the way that she got upset at Issa for being dismissive of it, like, actually, I don't even think Issa was being dismissive. She was like, "What's the big deal? Y'all are both single. You haven't discussed the boundaries of your relationship. Okay. Talk to him about it then. Express and let that nigga know how you really feel." It was too much. We're going to get to what she said about Issa as well. But I want to make a side note during this party. Kelly is always a nice, pleasant surprise. Not pleasant surprise, but it's always a nice pleasantry having Kelly around. Do we feel like Kelly is a fully realized character? Like, they gave her more stuff to do in season 2, season 3, and now this season 4, she was very much prominent in this episode. But do we feel like she's fully developed? She still feels like a trope to me. Still feels like a try hard. Like, they haven't given her much to do aside from being funny, sassy, and weird, and having these weird pursuits of men. I don't know. To me, it just still feels like she's not fully developed, and they're still kind of playing on her fatness a little bit. Like, there's this trope of like fat women being overtly sexual and almost kind of desperate because they don't like know when they're going to get their next man. And I think Kelly plays into that a little bit. I don't know. I just want to ask that question. Like, do y'all feel like Kelly is a fully realized character? So, Molly, she says to Issa, your life don't have to be this messy. Sometimes I think you like that shit. Issa was so taken aback, and so was I as I was watching it. I was like, whoa, you're hella judgmental. You're hella judgmental. You just can't comprehend that somebody is growing, that someone is maturing, that someone is trying not to be invested in mess, and that you're so used to it, right? Molly is so fucking messy. Like, do we not forget about all that shit with Dro? Did we not forget about all that shit with Dro? And she has the nerves to call Issa messy. I didn't like that. Good on Issa to react appropriately in that time, because you can tell she couldn't fully comprehend all of what Molly meant, and I could tell that she just didn't want to go down there that moment. So good on Issa just to be like, you know what? Oh yeah, cool. Like, sure. All right. We'll see. I really hope that doesn't cloud Issa Rae's judgment for the rest of the season, because based on episode 1, I really like what they presented us, that dynamic of her and Candela. I don't want Molly to get in the way of that, which I think that they might be queuing up, which might be a reason as to why Molly and Issa aren't friends anymore. That's a prediction that I have, that Candela is driving this wedge unknowingly between the two of them. I was not excited for Lawrence to be returning for season 3. I found it to be so unnecessary. I know that a lot of people were like, oh, we want to keep the male viewership up and we need men. And I'm just like, that's such a tired argument. Like, y'all really need to see yourselves reflected to be able to watch a show. How many white shows do black people watch constantly? And we can relate to them and we praise them. And they're part of our childhood, nostalgic. Like, I don't understand why you need somebody always, especially when it's a community already not represented enough, telling their own stories, why you need to insert in a man. Everything doesn't need to focus around men. However, I really am loving what Lawrence coming back to this show brings for season 4. I fucking love it. I'm ready for it. I'm loving all the sex scenes. Oh, it's not an HBO show without no sex scenes. Ooh, and the fact that the sex scenes appeal more to the eye of women and probably queer men, because they show way more male nudity. Oh, Chef Kiss. All these niggas' asses. I love to see it. That's all my thoughts on this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very, very much so. This was a great, solid episode. I would give this episode probably like a 9.5 in my opinion. I thought this was a great starter episode. It's good. We didn't lose a beat at all. We picked up probably just right after season 3. I thought that this was a great season premiere. I'm really excited to see what this season brings us. Issa Rae said, no, you're not getting longer episodes. And the reason why that is because they need to be able to submit their episodes to the Emmys for comedy categories. They are only supposed to be 30 minutes. I know that's what she's not telling that to y'all, but I have a awareness of that, and that the episodes can't be 30. They can't be an hour long because that's the drama category in the Emmys. So she gave us more episodes though. This season we're finally getting 10 episodes. Like, fuck yes. Like, when I watch Girls, I watched it after it went off air. I watched all 6 seasons. Every season was 10 episodes. I'm like, you gave these white women 10 episodes a season. Like, I don't know why we're not getting 10 full episodes. I think in some cases, some stories can be told in 8 episodes, but in my opinion, I don't think Issa Rae's storytelling is good. I don't think it's good enough to be told effectively in 8 episodes and really get the point across. So it's good that we're getting 10 episodes. I'm looking forward to 9 more weeks of Issa Rae and the gang, and I'm looking forward to it. So leave your comments down below. I would love to hear what y'all thought about this first episode. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I ask you to please subscribe and be a part of the Crispy Known family, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.